Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're delving into a truly remarkable community project in Maljevac, Croatia. It's right on the border with Bosnia and Herzegovina. And this isn't just about, building a new religious center. It's really a powerful story of incredible self-reliance, genuine interfaith cooperation,
Yeah.
and a community actively transforming itself into, well, a vital hub for an entire region.
We'll be exploring how the Jemaat Maljevac, that's the local Islamic community, is really pioneering a new approach here. They're creating a multifunctional cultural center.
Multifunctional.
Exactly. It's designed to serve not just spiritual needs, but to act as a crucial social, economic, and even humanitarian cornerstone for thousands of people.
Thousands.
Yeah. And you'll uncover some surprising details, particularly about their unique funding model and, the profound impact they're actually having.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack the incredible vision behind this project. We want to examine its strategic importance and uncover the grassroots spirit that's driving its success.
Right.
Get ready for some surprising revelations, because this story, I think, offers powerful, actionable lessons in community building and proactive engagement.
Definitely. There's a lot to learn here.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the why behind this ambitious project. Location seems key here. Maljevac is in Karlovac County, Croatia, and it has this unique geographic advantage. It's just 100 meters from the international road border crossing with Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Literally right there.
Exactly. So it's firmly within the Schengen Area, making it a genuine crossroads of East and West.
A real meeting point. For travelers, communities, different faiths. And the traffic is heavy. We're talking over 34,000 vehicles passing through monthly.
That's a huge number.
It is. And what truly stands out here is how the community itself, the Jemaat Maljevac, recognized this and, well, decided to use this strategic location.
Oh, yeah.
They formed back in 1998, making it the oldest and actually the largest of the three Jemaats in the Karlovac Islamic community.
Oldest and largest. Yep. Serving around 1,000 Muslims across 17 villages. These span the municipalities of Sietengrad, Vojdnic, and Topusko.
So a really wide area.
Very wide. And they've seen significant educational achievements, too. You've got 79 Muslim students attending Islamic religious education in local primary schools.
That's great.
And 20 students from these villages have either finished or are currently attending madrasa. That's Islamic high school in Zagreb.
Impressive for a rural community.
It really is.
Yeah.
And get this, Maljevac is even home to the youngest Hafiz in Europe.
Youngest in Europe.
An 8-year-old boy, Enis Basic. Hafiz means he's memorized the entire Quran.
At 8 years old, that's incredible.
Yeah, it really is.
So with all that growth and engagement, you can see why their existing prayer space, the masjid, which is only 80 square meters, well, it just became too small.
Exactly. Way too small.
But the motivation, it runs much deeper than just needing more room, doesn't it? This isn't simply about building a bigger mosque.
Absolutely not. You hit on a key point. What happens when state-provided public services are severely lacking, especially in rural areas like this?
Right. What does that look like there?
Well, in Maljevac, the nearest hospital, 50 kilometers away.
50. Wow.
Yeah. The health center is 25 kilometers.
Yeah.
Even basic things like a registrar's office or a shop are 10 to 25 kilometers distant.
So pretty isolated.
Very. Schools, banks, post offices, ATMs, gas stations, all significant distances away. So the Jemaat Maljevac has proactively stepped up, to fill these critical voids.
They're filling the gaps themselves.
Precisely. They vividly describe their community and the mosque as functioning like a hospital, post office, registrar, doctor, veterinarian, shop, advisor, defender, comfort, and hope.
That's quite a list. It really highlights how essential that local community infrastructure becomes when traditional services are so far away.
It really does.
So considering all these needs, what does this mean for the vision of the new center? It sounds like it's much, much more than just a mosque.
Oh, definitely.
It's envisioned as a place of worship, yes, but also what? A dedicated religious educational system for, you said, over 80 students.
That's right. Plus a youth and family center.
Okay.
And even a humanitarian base. Think accommodation, civil protection capabilities.
Humanitarian base, too.
Yes. Plus, it's designed to be a significant symbol of interfaith dialogue and, practically speaking, a much-needed rest stop for religious tourism and, frankly, any travelers passing through.
So really broad. With such ambitious goals, you have to wonder, what does this new center actually look like? How is it designed to do all this?
Well, architecturally, The Islamic Cultural Center will have a net area of 434 square meters for the main building.
Okay.
It features a minaret reaching 22.5 meters high and a main dome that's 11.5 meters high, plus 3 smaller domes.
Sounds quite striking.
It is. The design is modern, but it beautifully incorporates elements of both Oriental and Western architecture.
Yeah.
It gives a distinct Islamic visual identity, but it feels integrated.
Who designed it?
The conceptual design was done by architect Dr. Alma Pinjic from Jablanica in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the main project was overseen by architect Hilka Tomasic from Zagreb here in Croatia.
Interesting blend of perspectives there.
Absolutely. And the remarkable aspect here is just the sheer breadth of facilities planned. It goes way beyond, the typical prayer areas.
Okay, like what?
So the main building will have the prayer hall, of course, but also a library, a dedicated youth space, a multi-purpose classroom for mekteb, that's the Islamic education we mentioned.
Right.
An itika space, which is for spiritual retreat, an office, ablution rooms, storage, and even an apartment for the imam.
An apartment for the imam, too, okay.
Yeah, making it a real center of gravity. And outside, they've thought of everything. A public restroom, a children's playground, a mosque square for, larger outdoor program.
Very comprehensive. And wasn't there something about the basement? An unexpected development?
Ah, yes. That's where an unexpected challenge turned into a major opportunity. They actually hit rock during excavation.
Okay. Problematic.
Initially, maybe. But it prompted them to expand the basement. And this added another 434 square meters.
Doubling the space.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Almost doubling the functional space to roughly 850 square meters.
Wow. So what's going in this expanded basement?
This new lower level will be quite unique. It includes a civil protection shelter and an external response area.
Civil protection?
Yes, capable of serving as a temporary collective shelter during emergencies. Think epidemics, earthquakes, migrations, even poverty relief. It's even equipped for annual storage of food and rescue equipment.
That's incredible foresight. It really elevates its role.
It does. This expansion isn't just about more space, it fundamentally transforms the center's regional impact.
So what else is down there?
The basement will also feature a memorial room, a playroom, a multi-purpose hall for cultural events, guest accommodation known as a musafirhana,
Musafirhana, okay.
a community gathering lounge, or divanhana, additional storage, and a garage.
It just keeps getting bigger. What about the old building?
Good question. The existing 80-square-meter masjid won't be abandoned. It's being repurposed for social and cultural work, potentially including a kitchen restaurant, an ashinika, and maybe even a museum exhibit.
Reusing the old space, that's smart.
Very smart. And beyond the religious services, the center plans to host things like wedding ceremonies, cinema and theater performances, sports activities.
Cinema and theater. Interesting.
Yeah. It will also serve as a distribution point for social aid through their Ziraat humanitarian office and provide funeral assistance.
Really serving the community cradle to grave almost.
In many ways, yes. And looking ahead, they're even planning future amenities like EV charging stations and parking. It'll be paid, except on Fridays when it's free.
EV charging too. They're thinking very modern.
Absolutely.
So you can really see how this is shaping up to be a true multifunctional hub. And with that strategic location, it's intelligently integrating tourism as well, you mentioned.
Exactly. It's ideal for travelers and tourists. It complements existing attractions nearby Plitvice Lakes National Park, Topisko Thermal Water, Petrova Gora, Una River National Park over in Bosnia.
So it fits into the regional tourism picture.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
The center genuinely aims to facilitate religious tourism in the region, making it easier and more welcoming.
Okay, this is fascinating. Now let's turn to the how. Because a project this ambitious, this comprehensive, how is it being funded? This is where the story becomes, well, a masterclass in community empowerment, right?
Absolutely. The funding model and the grassroots spirit are maybe the most remarkable parts.
Let's talk numbers first. What's the scope?
The estimated total value of the completed facility, including the interior and that expanded basement, is around 2 million euros.
2 million. Okay. And where are they now?
As of June 2025, the project is already 50% completed. The basic structure is up.
Halfway there.
Roughly. About 1 million euros have been raised and invested so far. They need another 1 million euros to complete the whole thing, ideally within the next 12 months, assuming, the funding comes through.
So 1 million raised, 1 million to go. What was the initial estimate?
The initial projected cost was just over 1.6 million euros, with construction estimated at about 16 months. The basement expansion obviously added to that.
Right. Makes sense.
But what makes this entire endeavor so remarkable is that it's truly a grassroots phenomenon.
How so?
Well, local donors fully finance the purchase of the land and all the initial project documentation.
The land and plans paid for by locals?
Entirely. The Jamaatli, the local community members, raised an astonishing €14,000 in just 10 days for the land purchase. That was back in 2012.
14,000 in 10 days. That shows incredible commitment.
It really does. It's a unique grassroots fundraising effort driven entirely by local believers. They talk about a core group of 10 men, 10 women, and 5 children powering it. And the Imam himself captures this dedication perfectly. He's quoted as saying, "We offer a model. We don't cry, we work, we don't sleep, we don't talk, we work, we are silent, we act, we endure, we work."
That's such a powerful mantra. No complaining, just doing.
Exactly. And part of that unique grassroots effort involves something truly innovative, what they call roadside fundraising.
Roadside fundraising, what does that mean?
It means over €400,000, a huge chunk is being collected from generous people, mainly from the diaspora, who physically pass through that border crossing.
They just set up by the road?
Pretty much. Volunteers set up a stand by the road. They offer free branded items, things like water bottles, lighters, chocolates, magnets, all with the project branding.
They give them away for free?
Yes. They emphasize giving rather than selling. It creates goodwill. The Dramat water they offer, for example, comes from a source under the mosque, and it's even believed to be beneficial. They give it freely.
That's a very different approach to fundraising.
It is. It's described as nulta kategorisha, or zero-category marketing. It's about creating opportunity, being proactive, not just waiting for donations to come in.
Very entrepreneurial in a way.
Extremely. And this approach genuinely spotlights the power of real community engagement and, importantly, interfaith relations. The anecdotes of generosity are truly inspiring.
Like what? Give us an example.
Okay, so a Croat Catholic neighbor, a man named Ivo Marko, made a donation right there at the cornerstone laying ceremony.
A Catholic neighbor donating to the mosque, that's wonderful.
It is. Another story. A customs officer working at the border crossing scanned a QR code on their materials to donate more later.
Just spontaneously.
Apparently so. And maybe most striking, a Serbian Orthodox restaurant owner in Karlovac donated €1,000 and proudly displayed a picture of the mosque project in his restaurant.
That's incredible interfaith support.
It really shows the bridges being built. And the Imam, Admir Matthew Muhic, embodies this proactive and inclusive stance. He actually refers to himself as the guardian of the cross in Maljevac.
Guardian of the cross. What does he mean by that?
He means looking out for the Christian symbols in community, too. He emphasizes that the mosque shouldn't be hidden away, but should be a public landmark, serving everyone. He even shared a story of offering to donate to a church construction project in a nearby Croatian village.
Offering to donate to the church, that really speaks volumes about the spirit of collaboration.
It does. It's about mutual respect and shared community.
And this whole project, it relies on volunteers.
Massively. A dedicated team of unpaid volunteers who literally work day and night, driven purely by their heart and their love for Maljevac.
Just passion driving them.
Pure passion. The Imam emphasizes the importance of going among people, embrace people, show love. He talks about the mosque needing to be a mosque that walks, not just a building, but an active presence in the community.
A mosque that walks. I like that.
And they're remarkably open about the challenges, about overcoming personal ego and fatigue to engage directly with people. They firmly believe that Islam is a religion of visibility, least of all in the mosque, but on the street.
Being visible, being present.
Exactly. And this positive, proactive attitude hasn't gone unnoticed. It's garnered significant positive media attention, including a big 3-page feature in major Croatian newspapers.
3 pages, that's major coverage.
It is. And what's particularly striking here is how the leadership, especially Admir F. Muhic, who affectionately calls Maljevac his middle name, by the way.
His middle name. He must really love the place.
He clearly does. He and the leadership are driving this deep commitment to inclusivity. The center is unwavering in its commitment to multi-confessional programs and dialogue. They stress humanity for all.
Humanity for all, that's a strong message.
And crucially, they are also dedicated to providing dedicated spaces and roles for women, actively challenging some traditional views. Well, the Imam has boldly stated that Islam gave rights to women, and Bosnian Muslims especially take them away. That highlights their progressive stance on empowering women within the community and the center itself.
That's quite a statement, taking a stand.
Definitely. And this commitment, this whole approach, has even gained support from official channels. The Karlovac County Prefect, Martina Ferdek-Hodin, visits annually and apparently refers to it warmly as our mosque.
Our mosque. That shows real local government buy-in and acceptance.
It signifies a deep level of integration and mutual respect.
So zooming out a bit, let's look at the broader implications. The Islamic Cultural Center is envisioned as more than just a local community hub. It's positioned as a lighthouse and advocate at the entrance to the European Union.
Precisely. It serves as both a literal and symbolic meeting point of East and West. Its core mission is to be a functional center that genuinely weaves and connects diverse communities, not just serve its own, but connect outwards.
And this connection extends beyond just cultural or spiritual needs into civil service.
Absolutely. That truly elevates its role. The Jumat already has a defibrillator on site, for instance.
A defibrillator?
Yes, and several members are trained in its use. They embody that powerful principle: who saves one life, it is as if he saved all mankind.
Wow, that's practical community care right there.
It is. And the new center, as we mentioned, will include dedicated space for civil protection services, reinforcing this role as a community savior in times of need. It's a clear example of how a faith-based organization can step into tangible, even life-saving civil functions.
It's quite visionary. And you also mentioned a vision for self-sustainability. How does that work?
Right. That's another key insight. The project aims for partial self-sustainability. They're not just relying on donations forever.
What kind of initiatives?
Things like that shared kitchen, the ashinika, potentially operating as a small restaurant or catering service, educational seminars, cultural and spiritual tourism packages.
Using the facilities to generate income?
Exactly. And potentially even agricultural, healthcare, economic, or other humanitarian programs designed to create local jobs and ensure food security for the area.
Creating jobs, too. That's ambitious.
Very. They're even planning to launch an e-souvenir shop to sell those branded items online. And they're exploring a bibliobus, a mobile library project, potentially seeking EU funding for that.
A mobile library? That would be amazing for those scattered villages.
Wouldn't it? And a key insight emerges when you hear the imam describe Maljevac as an elite Jemaat.
Elite. What does he mean by that?
He means they're setting a new standard, particularly for Islamic centers in rural areas. They're offering modern amenities you might not expect, like a gym, a cinema, fully accessible facilities.
Things you'd normally find in a city center.
Right. They don't just wait for opportunities, they actively create them. It embodies a truly proactive approach for a, 21st century Muslim community. They're defining their own future.
You can really sense the profound dedication and, well, the joy radiating from this community, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. The volunteers are described as consistently positive, always smiling. They even sing their own anthem.
They have an anthem.
Yeah, Dan Jamata Maljevac, Day of Maljevac Jumat. Apparently, they sing it often. It speaks volumes about their infectious enthusiasm.
That's fantastic.
And they make a point to honor their benefactors. They list donors' names on an entrance plaque, ensuring prayers are made for them. It connects their worldly investment directly to the afterlife, spiritually.
That's a lovely touch. And the hymn itself, you mentioned the lyrics earlier.
Yes, the sentiment is incredibly powerful and inclusive. Lines like, "Today is our day, our faces are smiling and joyful. Our village is joyful when the noble Quran is recited. Let's all rise. Let those above hear us, as Maljevac lives on."
That truly embodies the spirit of interfaith harmony we've been discussing.
It's quite remarkable. It shows a deep commitment to that humanity for all message.
So wrapping things up, what's the core takeaway here?
I think what's truly a blueprint for community empowerment here is how the Jemaat Maljevac has taken the traditional role of an Islamic community and just fundamentally transformed it.
Amplified it, really.
Exactly. Amplified it, creating this dynamic, self-sustaining hub that goes so far beyond just religious services. It meets vital needs, social, economic, humanitarian for its people and the wider region.
Yeah.
The real insight, I think, is how a community, especially when faced with a gap in public services, can become its own most powerful institution. It shows how you can blend faith with critical social infrastructure.
And they've done it with such an incredible spirit of entrepreneurship, really, and profound interfaith collaboration. It proves community projects can be powered by local dedication and innovative fundraising. This deep dive really shows us how a strong, unifying vision, when combined with a relentless, heartfelt effort, can build bridges and create these vibrant centers of life and learning.
Which definitely raises an important question for all of us, doesn't it?
Go on.
In a world that's often grappling with information overload, resource scarcity, maybe even division, how might more communities, regardless of their background, draw inspiration from this Maljevac model?
How can they become more self-sufficient, more proactive?
Exactly. Proactive agents of positive change. Not just for their own members, but, like Maljevac, for everyone around them. How do you build that kind of outward-looking community?
That's a powerful thought to leave our listeners with. We invite you to explore that idea further. Consider how you might contribute to, or perhaps even replicate, such a powerful model in your own sphere, in your own community. And if you're inspired to support the Maljevac Cultural Center directly, you can find information on how to contribute on their website. We'll make sure to link to that in our show notes.
Great.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.